guys, welcome back to Approved AF Podcast. I am your host, Andy, better known as Just Ask Andy. And today we're featuring Camille Davis, who has over 10 years of experience in PR and is from Washington, D.C. She's going to be dropping gems about your business being more exposed, branding versus PR, and 5 tips to get your business noticed. Make sure you have your pen and paper together so you can get these gems. Let's get into the interview.
Now I got black cards, good credit and such. Paid for it cause I'm all grown up.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Just Ask Andy. Today we have Camille Davis that's going to tell us about her niche, how she got into her niche, and how she can tell you guys how to become approved AF in her niche as well. So sit back, relax, and don't forget your pen and paper so Camille can give you these gems today. Camille, go ahead and introduce yourself to our audience.
Hey, Approved AF. This is Camille Davis, Montage PR, and I do public relations. I'm based out of Washington, D.C., but I have clients nationwide.
Nice. Washington, D.C., and I'm in Texas. Come on, connections.
Right? Thank you so much. Your network is vast, you know. You spread nationwide for sure yourself, so it's an honor to be here.
Oh, yeah, we're going to have a good time today. So, of course, if you guys listening anywhere in the world, at least you know in Washington, you got a PR, and then you got Andy in Texas. So make sure you follow us on all the Instagrams, let's just say the social media platform, because we always giving gems everywhere. So, Camille, go ahead and introduce yourself far as your business and how long you've been in the industry.
I started Montage PR in 2010, so it's been exactly 10 years of business for me. Yes, thank you. And as you know, many small businesses, entrepreneurs, they don't last, that first 5 years. So it's definitely been ups and downs. It's been hurdles. I'm not going to say it's been a walk in the park, but I think that I like that. I like the change of pace every day. I like not having a traditional 9 to 5. I like that every day is different from the next. And I just, in general, love being an entrepreneur. I really kind of stumbled into being an entrepreneur. I was never really taught to be an entrepreneur coming up. My parents, their generation and the generation before them, particularly because I am based in DC, everybody's about the government. Why don't you just get a good government job? You can rely on the government. You can't depend on the private industry. Everyone wanted to tell me that public relations was not the route to go. When I went to college, I didn't even know what my major was going to be. Luckily, I had the opportunity to attend a multicultural journalism workshop my junior year in high school where I visited Penn State. And I was able to see that there was more to communications than just journalism, than just writing for the paper or reporting the news. I love public relations because it was almost all encompassing. I got to do all of that, instead of just narrowing myself to one specific position. So once I got my degree, my bachelor's in public relations from Penn State, I came out of school in 2007. However, it was in the middle of a recession. At that time, the jobs just weren't there. So I decided to go to grad school. I never thought that I was going to go to grad school either. Not that it wasn't an option or a possibility for me, but college was a big step. I had a father who was in the Navy. I had a mother. My dad did end up doing like night classes. My mom got her associates. She wanted to be in criminal justice, but she ended up working for the local police department, and that's how she met my dad as well. So again, parents in the government. I was never, again, given that path of entrepreneurship. I didn't have entrepreneurs to look up to. I didn't have a family-run business where I got to work on the weekends or in the summer. So I didn't even know what owning a business was. But again, I was forced. I said, okay, let me go to grad school and try to kind of narrow my focus in PR. I went to a sports school. I had an internship with the National Football Players Association and Players Inc. at the time. I said, okay, I'm going to go into sports management. And started looking at sports management schools, and that's what led me to GW. I thought that was a great way to kind of tailor my PR into the sports world. However, I went to GW and I was introduced into tourism. Tourism includes sports management, but it includes hospitality, which is area restaurants, theater, sporting events, fashion shows, that tourism sector, the restaurants, the hotels. I really found this world where I saw I could produce mega events, high profile events, whether, I got to gauge how important a Super Bowl is if it's hosted in your city, how important it would be to get the Olympics hosted in your city and the revenue that could spread, to the local economy, to theaters, to restaurants, just with one big event, how everybody profits. And that was interesting to me. So I said, okay, I want to do this tourism thing. Rather than limit myself, I'm going to do it all. And that's kind of where Montage PR came from. At that time, everyone was saying you have to be, you can't be a man of many hats. You have to be a master of one. Nowadays, it's totally opposite. Everyone wants 5, 6, 7 different lanes of revenue. So luckily, I didn't limit myself. I did fashion. I did sports. I've done beauty, public relations. I really kind of classify all of that as entertainment because we're entertained by everything nowadays. So that's how I kind of like to summarize my business in a nutshell. However, in the last year since the death of Nipsey Hussle last March, I really started thinking, what's going to be my give back? What's my legacy? What do I want to be remembered for? So I've really been focusing on limiting my client list. I'm a boutique agency. I only represent a handful of clients because I want to represent them to my best ability. I want them to feel like they're my only client. I've been focusing a lot on Black and Brown-owned businesses, women-owned businesses, and small businesses, particularly in my area because I want to build communities. I want to, support these business owners that may not see 5 years because they don't have the budget to invest public relations to promote their business. I'm looking for grants and opportunities now to support me so that I can pour into them. So that's kind of been my focus in my rebrand for the past year is really going after those mom and pops and those people who need it the most.
When I say that is amazing, hello. Now, you already started, like, we haven't even gotten into the interview, and I don't know if y'all out there listening or not, but when y'all say Camille is approved AF, like, how can you not have, I'm just saying, how can you not have someone that's not just strictly driven on, I'm just going to go to college and I'm going to learn this information and I'm going to do it. Hurrah. No, she did not let anything stop her. The more she was exposed, the more she wanted and the more experience she got. So, Camille, this is amazing. I do want to go ahead and go into the part of, you kind of hit some niches on, I know someone may be thinking like, well, yeah, I got a 9-to-5 and yeah, I'm still trying to pick my niche and find out where I'm trying to go. Can you kind of elaborate on that part of, like you said, I'm happy I don't have the 9-to-5, right? Yeah. First question is, do an entrepreneur have to quit their 9-to-5 to continue to go into entrepreneurship? And the second question is, how do you block off individuals, family, relationships, spouses, kids that stop you from going into your niche because they don't think you can do it, or they don't think you're passionate enough, or it's just they knock down your dream as soon as you say that's what you want to do?
I love that. Those are good questions. Number one, I don't want to make anybody feel any kind of way. I'm just not a 9-to-5. Not to say that you guys can't be a 9-to-5, and nothing's wrong with being a 9-to-5. And maybe sometimes I think about going back to a 9-to-5 because my business doesn't stop. I literally have people, I'm sending emails at 3 a.m. Some people just say, when I want to leave work, I want to leave work. And unfortunately, I don't have that opportunity. I take work with me everywhere I go. So that's something that you really have to consider is this is a commitment. And if I'm going to leave my 9-to-5, I need to put myself in a position where I'm making money overnight, where I have people working and making money for me, So that's where I'm trying to get my clients to. It's definitely a big jump. I'm not encouraging entrepreneurs to just leave their 9-to-5 either. However, it can be quite draining. A lot of people come to me because they're creative. They don't want to be tied down to a desk. They they flourish, when they're creative. So those type of people, I want to save them. I often encourage my clients to quit that job, but it's difficult. It's difficult to step out on faith, especially when you have mouths to feed, when you have other people depending on you, you know what I mean? And especially when maybe you don't have that business savvy, you don't know where to start. So that's why I definitely think that making that team, getting people on your side is very important, because when you get with somebody like me, I'm going to let you know when it's time to go. Everybody needs a hobby. Look at the time that we're in right now. Everyone is not able to go to their 9 to 5. Everyone's getting laid off. But if you have those talents, those God-given talents, why not use them? Maybe this is a time, this pandemic, for us to sit down and really realize I have more to offer, But it's okay if you just want to do that 9 to 5. Nothing is wrong with that. I think that when we are the most uncomfortable, that's God telling us it's time to grow. It's time to step away. And I have a lot of people that come to me and they're just simply not happy. They're not fulfilled in their positions. I was representing a tarot card reader at the time, and she has a government job. But I sat there with her and I identified 5 streams of revenue to make her feel comfortable. Like, hey, I can leave my 9 to 5 behind. It's about being smart. It's about planning, and nobody says that it has to be overnight either, So with that being said, you have to do for you. And I know that it's difficult. Just like I had my family telling me, don't do public relations, go into the government. You can't retire from public relations. It's too fickle. Those are the first jobs to go. I heard all of that, but I knew what I was good at. I knew what I was passionate about. You can't let people stop your shine. And to be honest, it's a lot of fear out there. A lot of people are projecting their fear upon you, and that's what I've seen. Just because maybe you may not understand what it is that I do, you may not understand what public relations is, you may not understand what being an entrepreneur is. However, I want to encourage people to do what they need to do for them. You'll never know unless you take the chance. And you never want to live with you never want to live with regret. 10, 20 years from now, you see somebody with your idea, you're going to be fuming, and you have to live with that for the rest of your life instead of just taking that chance and knowing that you may have failed. Or, hey, I failed, but how can I make it better? How can I innovate? How can I improve upon it? And I don't think that people give themselves a chance. But you know what? I think all of that's going to stop now. Again, I think that this pandemic is good for us, because I've been seeing community more. I've been seeing people rallying around each other more and supporting each other more and pouring into each other. I think that we were just taught not to do that. Not that we were necessarily taught to hate on each other, but, it's disappointment, it's unrealistic expectations. So I think that it's easy just to say, you know what, don't even disappoint yourself, but I think that we're in an age now where we're starting to be more positive. We're speaking those affirmations. We're visualizing, we're saying our mantras every day. I think that people want to be in a better position mentally, emotionally. I think we're ready for change. And I think that it's time for us to start pouring into each other. The women's movement recently, I've seen women supporting each other like never before, building each other up. I think that it's going to take a community to make these people feel like that they can do it.
Right. Come on, Camille. All right.
Thank you.
So go ahead and just tell us, here we go, y'all. Here go that good question that comes along. Tell us, what do you consider being approved in business, and how did you get approved?
Okay, being approved in business. To me, being approved in business is the same thing as credibility. So when a client comes along to me, that's my job to make you an expert in your industry. So I think that when you have gotten to that position where not only are people listening to your tips, people are seeking you out for information, you're easily, accessible. You're easily providing the information that the masses want. I think that's what makes you approved. You don't have to, it's not about the likes. It's not about, who's reposting you. I think about the people that are just out there doing it every day. You don't need a label. You don't need someone else to tell you that you're approved. I think that it's about the work that you put in, and being known for what you do,
Right. So tell us how, so in your niche of being a PR, right? How do you make your clients, be separate from anyone else's, maybe pending for the future or pending for the front page of a magazine, pending for their next speaking engagement? Like, how do you make sure that they are heads on with anything they're trying to do within PR?
I want my clients to have realistic expectations. Everybody wants to be on the cover, but let's be realistic. A lot of times people don't realize that cover story is a paid story. Number one, a lot of you guys can be on covers if you have the money behind it. A lot of stuff in this industry is pay to play, and a lot of people don't see that, nor are they willing to invest in themselves. So that's one thing. You definitely are going to get out of it as much as you put into it. And that's energy. That doesn't necessarily have to be money either. So that's the one thing that I tell my clients, and that's what separates them from the rest. How much are you willing to invest in yourself? And again, that doesn't necessarily mean financial. For instance, I have I try not to work with artists a lot. And here's the reason why.
Yeah.
Everybody's a rapper. Everybody's a model, but that's the thing. How are you going to distinguish yourself from in a saturated industry? Are you getting up and studying the dictionary? You're a rapper. Are you in the studio living, breathing, eating out of that studio 24/7, or are you just faking it for the gram? And I think that that's what distinguishes people. A lot of people out there are not really doing the work, but they want immediate results. And that's the problem. Again, you know what I mean? And those realistic expectations, you got to put in the work. For instance, a lot of clients may not see that publicists are constantly pitching you. They don't realize that we have to come up with 200 different stories just to get you noticed, 200 ways to spin what it is that you have going on. And you still may not get picked up. That doesn't overshadow by any means how we're up calling and following up and 24/7 working on your business as in the way that you would. So I just want to tell people it has to be timely, it has to be newsworthy, and it has to be concise. Those are the three main tips if you want to get yourself in the news and get your brand out there. It may not just be the time, but you have to have that commitment and that willingness to invest in yourself.
Oh, Camille, you better get on this podcast today and act up.
You're the best. You're crazy.
Listen, Camille. You know how hard, even though you're in a niche of PR, but just being a business or a company owner and trying to explain to your team, to your client, to your customer, hey, it takes work to see a reaction on any action that you do. And some people forget that. Some people forget where they started and where they're trying to go. They're already mindset of I'm there because everybody is mentioning just manifest your dreams. Well, what they didn't tell you is you still got to put in the work as well.
You know how many clients call me, and it's almost predictable now. I could be on the morning news with a client, and I'm always going to have that one client blowing up my phone like, why is she on the news and I'm not on the news? You know what I mean? You're going to have that. And that's what drives me wild. She is not you. You know what I mean? Again, it goes back to being newsworthy, relevant, and concise. But a part of our job in public relations, and I give us all the credit because we will spin a story. We will make you newsworthy. We will make you relevant. We will make sure that your business coincides with, the coronavirus, whatever we have to do to keep those businesses relevant, I think that people need to just humble themselves a little bit more, and they need to know that, some people do have that overnight success, but for a lot of us, it just takes being consistent, and really
So,
grinding it out.
so look, now I want to ask this question, and I know my graphic design is going to be happy, my web design is going to be happy for you to answer this question. What
Mhm.
is the difference between PR and branding? Because
Okay.
everybody thinks someone that's a PR, they're gonna remake my whole business and make my branding oh so well beautiful. What?
No, PR and branding are two different things. Don't come to me and ask me to do packaging for your product because I don't do that. You need to get with
What?
marketing. You need to have your brand language decided before you even come to somebody to do your public relations. What's your brand identity? What are you about? What is the color scheme that you use? Do you have your logos done? That's not public relations. Public relations is to grow your buzz, increase your reach, get you in front of the public, and make sure that the public knows those top 4 messages about what your brand is about. That's public relations in a nutshell. We can
How do you
take
want
your
to?
brand to the public, but
Yeah.
we can build your brand, however, but branding takes more of that day to day. Like I said, what's your brand
Mm-hmm.
language? What fonts are you using? Are you being
Mm-hmm.
consistent? Every time you write a press release or put out a flyer, are you using 5 different fonts on that flyer? No. People, I don't know. I think that people think of being a brand, quote unquote, and I'm doing the bunny ears here, is the image. And yes, in public relations, we manage your image. However, and it can take a day to day. Everything that you put out is your brand.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Yeah.
want to see, you as a business owner looking half naked on your business page. That's something where a public relations expert will come in and I'll snatch all of that down. I will take your
Yeah.
account and I will, it has to match because I'm in these streets representing you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That in a nutshell, that's kind of your brand to me is what you want people to know about you, and public relations. I'm the one that's going to take what you want people to know about you and I'm going to make sure that they actually do.
So I'm gonna add to that for the people in the back. Um,
Mm-hmm.
for your branding when it comes to the management is what people want to know about you. So you're either gonna make it look real professional, real hood, real classy, real
Mm-hmm.
motherly like, or however you want to
Mm-hmm.
put it. But PR is the one of the how. You know how we learned in school, the what, the when, the how, the why. That's kind
Yep.
of like how branding and PR is. And I'm gonna just tell you guys that may listen to this later, don't feel bad if you thought it was the same thing. I did the same thing, and my brand manager told my butt up. Like, what are you
Yeah.
doing? I'm like, I just need a cell funnel so I can do this, and I'm gonna do that. She was like, no, 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 no. You need this, 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 this. I'm like, well, I don't need that yet. I just need to be in the newspaper. I need to be on the news. She was like, what? You ain't even got a website. Trust me, never, ever, ever, ever disrespect a PR person for a branded person or a branded person for a PR because they will go in. Now, it's nothing against you. It's a part of understanding the lane that they are in and the knowledge that
For
they're going
sure.
to bring to you. They can do both, but it's always good to separate it because their creativity is so wide range that once they do get together, it's very powerful. I
Oh, girl,
think
because
that
I
as
can go
well.
off.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can come up with a million ideas, but sometimes people have to reel me back in. Like that's not really my brand, and
right,
I have to
right,
respect that. Yeah.
right.
What do
But
you want your
but
brand to say about you?
right. But when it comes to the part of allowing your creators, because let's go back. There's no I in
Mm-hmm.
team. Okay. So when you allow your
Right.
creators to step in and take that piece of their niche of what they've been doing, like Camille told y'all, she's been in the game for 10 years. So she knows the right way, the wrong way, the flip way to get it quick, all of that. If that's the type of experience
Mm-hmm.
she give you and look at the gem she's already dropping for you, just imagine if you just said, hey, here's my PR report. What do I need for
Mm-hmm.
PR? And she said, well, do you have
Mm-hmm.
your branding? If you come with your branding and it's on point, that PR person is going to love you and go above and beyond. But if you coming in with some trash, oh, better be ready for a butt whooping.
Mm-hmm. And I
All right.
meant to say this earlier with one of the
Yeah, go ahead.
questions you asked. We're firing clients in 2020. Okay.
Uh-oh.
We are no
Uh-oh.
longer sitting back taking, if you don't want to take our advice, then what exactly is the point of you having public relations or having somebody who's your brand manager? I think that when we were talking about those combative clients, we don't have to represent them no more. I think it's about having a culture within your organization, whether you're representing someone or whether you're a business owner. You want employees that are working for you that have the same values you do. And that's the same thing for me as a business owner and as a publicist. I want people on my client list that have the same values as I do. And if they don't align, it's just not going to work.
Whew. Let me tell you, that I'm a fire you deal. It hit different when you're trying to grow your own brand, so don't get fired in 2021.
Yeah,
All
I mean,
right,
we're
so
the experts for a reason.
And hey, don't be scared to spend money when you want expert advice. So Camille, let's go into. I'm not. Look, I knew it. I knew you were gonna do it. You see how I tried to cut off? But let's go. Let's go. Y'all, I'm telling y'all, if you just now listening, you have Camille Davis on here, who's a PR from Washington, D.C. You have Just Ask Andy. I'm on here trying to get as much gems as possible so you guys can be approved AF. Listen, it don't hurt to fail. But if you fail to get hurt, you're hurting yourself. So Camille, let's go into, we're not gonna hold them too long, but let's just go into this question. What if someone, out there can't afford your services, right? And they want to start PR themselves, what would you tell them to do?
Okay. I wouldn't necessarily recommend this, but it's real. It's real.
Yeah.
Let me just say this. Don't ever think that you can do what I do. And I don't mean that as any shade. I don't mean shade whatsoever. I've talked to people at the news desk, at the assignment desk. I've talked to editors. They can tell when that email comes over and you don't have any training in your position or in your field. It speaks loudly. So I definitely, just like you would hire an accountant when it comes to your money, you don't play with your money. I don't understand why people think that they can take shortcuts in different things. However, that's not to say that you can't Google how to write a press release. Absolutely, you can Google how to write a press release. I don't want anybody to think that they have to go out and break their pockets or they have to downsize in order to hire somebody to work for them. But what I will tell you is it's a tax write-off. What I will tell you is when you invest in yourself, you can write that marketing and that advertising expense off for your business on your taxes. A lot of people don't know that. So that's not an excuse for me. That's not an excuse when you come to me and you say you don't have any money. It's just not going to work because I know my worth. But I will say, ask for a consultation. Pay that consultation fee. You may not be able to pay that monthly retainer, but you can sit down and you can write down all those ideas. And that's why I have to charge a consultation fee, because too many times people will sit down and they will write all of my ideas and then go and do them themselves. They'll fail. They can't do it the way I can, but they try to do that to you. Pay for a PR plan. Have someone like me write it up. You may only have $500, $600, $800. It's an investment. Have us sit there and write it up for you, and then you can implement everything that we say. We'll literally build your media list. We'll give you ways to evaluate. We'll give you tactics with rationale as to why you should do what we're recommending for you to do. I think that that's the best way to go. If you don't have a budget for a PR person, definitely purchase a PR plan. Have them write it up. Have them investigate, do a market analysis for you, all of that. And then here it is. You have a tangible product and go do the work.
Wow. So if you want to get into PR, Camille is telling you it's cool. Go do all that, right? Go Google, go to YouTube University, do all that. But when you're really ready to level up, it's best to go ahead and invest in yourself and get someone with some experience. And what I will add into that person that you did a consultation with, Be upfront. Hey, I never did this before, and I love what you're doing. Camille, thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate you. The energy was great. I'm pretty sure they have a couple of pages full of notes and gems. I hope you guys reach out to her just to get that consultation, invest in yourself, and become what? Approved AF. Thank you guys. You have a great day, and see you guys at the next episode. Just a reminder, thank you for listening to Approved AF Podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe, and leave a 5-star review. If you by chance have a Twitter account, make sure you follow us at Approved AF. On Thursdays, you could be featured on Who Tried It episodes if you hashtag Who Tried It with your explanation. Again, thanks for listening to Approved AF Podcast. Make sure you click the link under this segment so you can get the latest updates, challenges, and even events that we're hosting. Also, remember, we have options that equal opportunities. So when the opportunity comes, we have options. Stay approved AF.